Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Aisha and I made this video for submitted on my final test on Psycholinguistics class. So today, I'm gonna present about some effects or factors in language learning. But before I start, I will show you the mind mapping of the study that I will discuss in this video. As we can see, here we have language as the object of the study and how we learn or acquisition it using psycholinguistic factors. There are 7 of it and I will explain more about it later in this video. First, we have to know what is language, which is the object of the study. Language is such a complex phenomenon that it has become the common study point of many social sciences such as linguistics, psycholinguistics, sociolinguistics, neurolinguistics, and historical linguistics. In the case of examining these fields in detail, it is possible to find many definitions and theories which try to explain language, its nature and development through the history, and the effect of psychology and society on the language. From the perspective of linguistics, language is a system of arbitrary vocal symbols which permit all people in a given culture or other people who have learned the system of that culture to communicate or to interact. In 1970s, Krashen described the monitor model in which the acquisition learning hypothesis takes place. He puts forward that individuals have two independent means of developing knowledge of a second language as acquisition and learning. While acquisition is a subconscious and intuitive process of construction of the system of language, learning is the process in which learners attempt to figure out rules, and are generally aware of their own process. The process of second or foreign language learning and teaching is such a complex process that many approaches, theories, and methods have been put forward to define this process. In the case of examining the developments in the fields of language learning and teaching chronologically, it is clearly realized that there is a movement from behaviorist approach to humanistic approach. With the effect of humanistic approach, many profound innovations are put forward in language learning and teaching process, such as inductive teaching, strategy training, process evaluation, and these developments, especially the emergence of humanistic approach, have provided the emergence of psycholinguistics. Psycholinguistics is the study of the psychological factors that enable humans to acquire, use, comprehend, and produce language in the field of psycholinguistics. They have effects of different dimensions on the process of language learning or acquisition are discussed today. Gas and Selinker in 2008 put forward 9 dimensions which affect the language learning or acquisition process positively or negatively as affect, social distance, age difference, attitude, motivation, personality, learning style, and the last is learning strategies. The dimension of affect, which is an important issue under the heading of psycholinguistics, consists of 2 aspects, as language shock and culture shock, anxiety, and affective filter. Language shock refers to the realization that a learner must seem comical to speakers of the target language, while culture shock is the personal disorientation a person may feel when experiencing an unfamiliar way of life or exposure to a new culture. Foreign language anxiety is the feeling of uneasiness, worry, nervousness, and apprehension experienced by non-native speakers when learning or using a second or foreign language. But anxiety is not always negative factors in learning. The affective filter is a theoretical construct that attempts to explain the emotional variables associated with the success or failure of acquiring or learning a second language. The affective filter is an invisible psychological filter that can either facilitate or hinder language production in second language. Next factor is social aspects. Social aspect of using a second language cannot be ignored since second language learning involves the acquisition of a second identity. In this process, social distance may occur. Next, the notion of age difference is another dimension that's discussed under the headline of psycholinguistics. It is possible to get different views and studies about the influence of age in the language learning or acquisition process. As a general view, children acquire their first language easily and well, while individuals who learn a second language in an educational setting can have difficulty in the process. The next dimension discussed in the field of psycholinguistics is aptitude. Aptitude is defined as natural ability or skill at doing something in the context of language learning. Language aptitude refers to the potential that a person has for learning language. Motivation, which is one of the psycholinguistic dimensions, is the key concept in the language learning process. Motivation is defined in the Oxford English Dictionary as a reason or reasons for acting or behaving in a particular way, and desire or willingness to do something, and enthusiasm. It can be considered as a driving force, in other words, a psychological drive that compels or reinforces an action toward a desired goal. Personality and learning styles are among the psycholinguistic factors which affect the foreign language learning process directly or indirectly. Personality is the particular combination of emotional, attitudinal, and behavioral response patterns of an individual. And learning system is a term generally used to describe an individual's natural or habitual pattern of acquiring and processing information in learning situations. The last is learning strategies. Will be discussed under the heading of psycholinguistic factors which affects the foreign language learning process. Learning strategies are used by students to help them understand information and solve problems. A learning strategy is a person's approach to learning and using information. Learning strategies consist of four main components as cognitive strategies, metacognitive strategies, social strategies, and affective strategies. Cognitive strategies involve the manipulation of the learning materials or input by means of repetition, summarizing. Metacognitive strategies involve higher order strategies such as analyzing, evaluating, organizing learning process. And social strategies involve interpersonal behaviors aimed at increasing the amount of foreign language communication with native or non-native speakers. And affective strategies involve taking control of the emotional conditions and experience that shape one's subjective involvement in learning. In the context of foreign language learning, the key issue is how the learner strategically use linguistics information to practice the target language. Okay, that is the end of the study about some factors in language learning. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.